Fast swimmers finish races, and finishing races comes down to sustaining speed and sustaining skill. Both are a habit that need to be trained. Let's take a look at an effective way to ensure it happens. Hi everyone, Andrew here, helping you help your swimmers get faster. The difference between winning and losing is typically in the last quarter of the race. Swimmers that are more effective at maintaining or even increasing their speed stand a much better chance of coming out on top. And one of the most important components of maintaining or increasing speed is maintaining skill. If swimmers' skills fall apart, it's pretty much impossible to maintain their speed. This isn't something that happens by chance. It's something that has to be trained. In this video, we're going to take a look at a strategy that helps swimmers learn how to maintain or even improve both their skills and speed at the same time. Let's check it out. One of the biggest challenges in races and training is sustainability. A huge part of maintaining speed is developing great fitness. In order to develop great fitness, there has to be some element of fatigue during training. And so as a result, swimmers are going to get tired in training. The problem is that their skills will tend to fall apart when they start to work hard. Well, this is just reality to some degree. If there's not an intentional focus to maintain skills, they tend to fall apart a lot worse. And now they're training themselves for their skills to fall apart when they get tired, which is going to happen in races. Likewise, when swimmers start to get tired, they tend to swim slower in training as well. And just like with the skills, we're now practicing getting slower as they get more tired, when in races, they need to be able to maintain their speed when they get fatigued. So even when swimmers get tired, we need to help them develop the ability to hold on to their skills and their speed. And there's a saying that you perform like you practice. So if swimmers' skills fall apart and swimmers go slower, that's what's going to happen in the back half of their races when they start to get tired. Their skills are going to fall apart, they're going to slow down, and they're not going to be as successful as they otherwise could. What's the solution? We have to train sustainability. We have to train the ability to hold the speed, and we have to train the ability to hold the skills. The more effectively we can do that in the sets that we design, the more effectively swimmers are going to be able to finish races well in terms of holding on to their skills and in terms of holding on to their speed. A super simple, super effective strategy is to have swimmers negative split at the same stroke count. It's a simple strategy. Swimmers have to hold their stroke count throughout the whole repetition, and they have to go faster through the second half of the repetition. So you're probably familiar with negative split efforts to encourage swimmers to maintain or even improve their speed during the second half of repetitions. Here, we're going to challenge swimmers to not only do that, but they have to ensure that they maintain their stroke count too. That means they're going to have to make sure that they're maintaining their skills throughout those repetitions too. And in reality, their skills are going to have to be even better if they're going to create more speed at the same stroke count. So they have to swim better during the second half of repetitions, both in terms of their speed and their skill. And so even though swimmers are getting more fatigued, we're asking them to perform at higher and higher levels, and that is going to help them develop the ability to do that consistently in races. The best part about this strategy is that it's objective. If their stroke counts stay the same, they're on track. If their stroke counts go up, they've got a problem to address. If their speed isn't faster, they've got a problem they've got to address. If they're faster on the back half, they're good to go. And so swimmers are provided with really clear feedback as to how effective they're being. If we just ask them to think about their stroke or pay attention to their breathing, it's hard for them to know if they were effective or not. But if we give them the stroke counts, we give them the speeds, then they know if they were successful or not. If they were successful, it's just a matter of continuing to execute in the same manner. And if not, now it's time to problem solve. Now it's time to learn. Now, in terms of making it work from a practical standpoint, there are a couple considerations. First is the training context. For endurance work, it's perfect. It's the perfect environment to have them work on being faster at the same stroke counts, and it makes endurance work, which can be a little bit less engaging, it can make it a whole lot more engaging. At those speeds and that type of fatigue, swimmers are typically able to hold on to their skills and their speed and even make them better during the second half of repetitions. Race work is a little bit more challenging. If you're doing 400 meter and up type work, it's a little bit more manageable. 200 work, it has to be pretty creative in order to make it happen. 100 work, it's very difficult to do. It's probably just not the right strategy. With sprint work, it's not appropriate because swimmers are just trying to go as fast as they can. And so with the endurance work, it's awesome for laying a foundation of sustainability, both in terms of their skills and their speed. It creates a huge foundation, a huge platform upon which better performances can be built. It's also helpful to combine this strategy with other skill development strategies. You can use it with resistance work to challenge swimmers' propulsive skills. You can add other performance goals, such as having them descend, having them hit different types of speeds, using different stroke counts. You can also use different hand postures to further challenge swimmers' upper body skills. You can use training aids to change where the stress is, whether that's using a buoy, having them wear fins, having them wear drag socks, whatever it is. So you can take the basic strategy and then mold it based upon what you want to accomplish. This first set here is a freestyle endurance set. So they're going to go 3 100s, freestyle, negative split at the same stroke count, and they're going to start with a low stroke count. So they've got to hold the stroke count throughout those hundreds, and they've got to be better the second 50 of each of those hundreds. Next, they're going to go 100 freestyle, and this time it's going to be a big negative split. They're going to add 2 strokes the second 50, so they should be able to increase the speed even more. Then they're going to repeat that same basic pattern for 3 more rounds. Each time they go through, they're going to add 2 strokes per 50 on those 100s, and so they should be able to go faster as they go. And so when they start with a really low stroke count, they're not going to be able to create as much speed, and then as we start to add strokes, they're going to be able to create more and more speed. However, they still have to be really consistent with the stroke counts within the round, and they're trying to turn up the gas on the second 50 of all those repetitions, but they're doing so without increasing the stroke count. So there's a huge emphasis on sustainability here, both in terms of the speed and the skills. The skills are going to be very consistent within each round, and swimmers are going to be going faster the second half of every repetition, and they're going to be going faster as they move through the set. This is a breaststroke set, and we're going to work on upper body pulling here. They're going to go 3 rounds through. They're going to start off with 250s breaststroke with a dolphin kick and a light parachute. They're going to negative split at the same stroke count. So especially with the resistance, it's going to be challenging to the upper body to maintain the same stroke count. Swimmers are going to have to find a way to be smooth that first 25 and then really turn up the jets the second 25, but they have to do so by holding more water, by being more effective. And that's the only way they're going to create more speed without increasing the stroke count. Now they're going to go 100 breaststroke with dolphin kick. Again, negative split at the same stroke count. Got to be good that first 50, but then they got to really turn it up, and they've got to make sure that they hold on to the stroke count. So especially when there's a lot of pressure on the upper body here, it's difficult to hold on to the stroke counts, and it's even more difficult to create more speed at the same stroke counts. We're really challenging swimmers' skills here. And again, because it's objective, they get very concrete feedback as to whether they're being effective or not. We'll finish off with 250s breaststroke. First one, negative split at the same stroke count. The second one is strong. And then by round, we're going to increase strokes. So whatever they took on the first round, they're just going to take more on the second and the third round. However, as a result of taking more strokes, the expectation is that they go faster. So we're giving them the chance to continue to create more speed as they go through. However, there's still an emphasis on efficiency throughout the whole set. Last set is a backstroke set, and we're going to use it to help swimmers learn how to hold more water, how to be efficient, how to be consistent, and how to create more speed while maintaining their efficiency. So they're going to go 225s backstroke with a buoy and a closed fist. They're going to build a strong. So on those, they've got the hands closed. They can't use their hands. They've got to use their forearms to create propulsion. They've also got the buoy, so they can't use their legs to compensate by kicking, and they're going to build a strong. So that's going to set them up. Then they're going to go 300 backstroke with a buoy, negative split at the same stroke count. They've got to be efficient with their strokes. They've got to find a way to go faster the second half, and they can't use their legs to make that happen. So it's all going to be in the upper body. Then they're going to go 50 backstroke strong, and they're trying to hold as much water as they did during those first 2 pieces. They're going to try to see what they can do. Then they're going to do the same thing, except instead of a 300, it's going to be a 200 and then a 100 on each section. As they go through, they should be able to be a little bit faster on the 200 than the 300 and then the 100 versus the 200. And when they go to the 50s backstroke, they're going to pick up the effort too. So we're using the buoy, we're using the closed fist to help them learn how to hold water. We're using the longer swims to challenge their upper body to maintain efficiency, to maintain speed. And then we're letting them apply those skills during those 50s to see if they can continue to hold water, continue to be really effective when they put the whole stroke together. If you want to learn more about how to use stroke counts to help swimmers improve their skills and their speed, check out the video below.